My dear brothers and sisters, today's reading speak about righteousness. Who is called a righteous person, a holy person? And we have in the readings, the first reading today, we have Ezekiel that speaks about two people, a righteous person and a wicked person. The person is righteous because he has been keeping all the law and the prophets and all that's said in the Old Testament to please himself. He's keeping only exteriorly. He has no love for law at all, absolutely nothing. He wants to be holy. He wants people to call him holy. But this man realizes so-called, he is getting no fruit for so-called his righteousness and then falls into sin. The other side, you have a person who is wicked, sinful, but he feels that something is not happy with him. God's grace touches him and he comes back to God. Now, who is a righteous person? The one to my right or one to my left? And Ezekiel says, God doesn't take pleasure in punishing the wicked because they have come back. In Gospel passage, we have again the question asked, who is a righteous person? And Jesus tells the disciple, you must exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees. The scribes and the Pharisees felt that they are holy because they have kept the Torah. They have kept all the ordinances, about 636 of them, the do's and the don'ts. They are righteous. Jesus says, go beyond that. By giving one of the 8 antitheses. What antithesis you have heard in the Old Testament about this, but I say it to you. Today it's talking about killing. Jesus says killing is the extreme end. But what forces a person to kill is because anger, hatred, jealousy, and pride. If you're careful with this, yes, you will not go to kill. So Jesus says, be careful of your thoughts and feelings that move you to the extreme action. That makes a person holy. At the end, Jesus says, if I have offering, you have come here, the Eucharist, to celebrate it, and offer yourself, the Eucharist to God, he says, look into your heart. Is your mind pure? Has anyone offended you? Is anyone whom you offended? And he says, go back home. Mentally, he says, forgive the person who has offended you or whom you offended, then come and offer this offering. When the Lenten season, the season of grace, season of so-called a new life, the new life will come into us provided we cast away the old life. It's like you see in the spring season, the old dry leaves fall off and you get new leaves. That's the thing with us. Lenten season is in the grace, a new life. But we should be able to cast away so-called all this ill feeling that we have so that Christ comes in and makes us so-called holy. Let's pray today in the Mass, the grace. That we look back into our life and says, is there anything within us that keeps us away from people? Is it our pride? Is it our anger? Is it all those negative feelings? And if we have, we ask God's grace, help us to overcome them.